but I know him as a different person. I also know his background. These guys grew up, I can call them kids because I could be their father. They grew up under very difficult circumstances. So they did things that got to where they got. They're not doing the same things now. And what they did, in my view, and from the evidence I looked at, did not rise to the standard of criminality. So it's one thing. You don't like somebody, don't like them. You don't want to pay attention on social media. You want to badmouth them. You have an opinion. That's up to you. But you don't put people in prison for that. And you don't try to destroy their lives and bankrupt them for that. You know, people tell, oh, you did all these things on OnlyFans. OnlyFans is a legitimate site. If you don't like it, go after the guy that created it. Don't go after the people that are on there, because then you got to lock everybody up.
Correct.
So this is my mentality, and nobody's going to change it. And until unless something changes my mind that I have to see personally or deal with, that's my position. So yeah, I wear this because Andrew gave it to me out of friendship, and I'm supportive of it.
Beautiful.
And I have my, this is my thing on the other side.
Oh, that's,
yeah. So, but his normally, for some reason, comes up front.
On the front.
Yeah.
No, you're right. You're 100% right. And I mean, you look at, you know, I had a thought. I had a crazy thought the other day. You know, when Jesus died, all the Christians went into hiding. They went to caves because obviously they were persecuted. They just crucified Jesus. 300 years later, the new Roman emperor came and he said Christianity will be our main business, our main religion. And that is when it kind of grew and it went and took over the world, right? Andrew Tate could become a religion when he dies. The followings that he has, the crucifixions that they've done to him, and he's almost shaping to be a perfect candidate. Crazy if things have happened. Now, I'm not talking about when he dies. I'm talking about 1,000 years after he dies, 400 years after he dies. He could, with the followings that he's got, crazier things have happened. He could potentially turn to a religion.
He needs to continue what he's doing because men need to grow up and learn how to be men. We're losing that, especially in this country. I heard in the United Kingdom too. I don't know, maybe other parts of the world, but we have it bad here in that regard. He's changing that. He's got a lot of young men following him. And the right message is being delivered to those young men, as far as I'm concerned. And but here's the thing with Andrew, and here's the thing. I want to leave you with this. Why I became a Christian. Nobody pushed it on me. Nobody said, "Hey, you got to be a Christian." My wife's a Christian. My mother-in-law prayed for me every night. I think she prayed me into my Christianity. But here's what happened. First night I'm in prison. Bad night. I explained it already. A prison guard hands me a Bible. Pushes it through the slot on the door. I pick it up. I start to read the Bible. A couple of verses got my attention. But here's what happened. I grew up as a Catholic. But Catholicism to me was like a subject in school. You know, don't do this, you're going to hell. Don't do that. Don't tell me. I wasn't a guy that liked to listen to stuff like that. So okay. Jesus hanging on a cross. This wimpy view of Jesus, right? Didn't impress me. Did I believe? I don't know. Believed in God. Why do I believe in God first before I became a person of faith? It makes sense to believe in God. Everything has a creator. I don't understand how God can always was, always will be, always remains the same. Some things are beyond our human capacity to understand. I don't get it. Maybe when I get to heaven, he'll explain it to me. Maybe not. I don't know. But this earth didn't come from a little speck of dust going into some big bang that banged into everything. It's insanity to think that. God makes more sense, even though he's unexplainable. But here's what happened. That first night, I said, you know what? From the time I was 5 years old, my father told me the standard in life you have to live up to. You have to be a man's man. That's it, Michael. There's no less. A man's man. What do I mean by that? You walk down the street, you got to have integrity. People got to look up to you. They got to respect you. You got to earn that respect. You treat women and children the right way. That's a standard you have to live up to. Be honest. Keep your word. He told me that all the time, right? Think he's told me bad things because he was a mobster? No, he told me good things. I got into the life. We're men of honor. We're men above men. We have respect. We have integrity. We have loyalty. It was BS on some things. People died for the wrong reasons. Like anything else, there's corruption, even in a corrupt organization. Okay, so when I started to read about Jesus, I said, you know what? What kind of guy was he? I see him as this guy hanging on a cross, like a weep. I don't know much about him. What kind of man was he? So I start reading the Gospels. I said, wow, there was no greater man that ever walked the face of the earth than Jesus of Nazareth. Separate his deity from his manhood in every aspect of his character. So now I'm saying, is this real? So now I do the research, and as far as I'm concerned, there's multitude of evidence to prove that Scripture is real. It's not made up. It's not a fantasy. Evidence. I look for evidence. The apostles, they lived, they breathed, they walked the earth. It was true. 12 men go to their death because they saw a resurrected person. They're not doing that for any other reason. They're not. That's powerful evidence to me. You don't go to your death for something you don't believe in. Even people that believe in the wrong thing, it could be wrong, but they believe in it and they'll go to their death. We've seen that happen. There's a lot of evidence to prove it. A prophecy that has been fulfilled. A prophet is only a prophet if 100% of what he says is true.